All right. Hello, good afternoon to everyone, wherever you are in the world. It's really good to be here online with you. And this is a bit of a testing technology. So I just want to make sure that everything is working. And if you're seeing me and you happen to be in the comments, happen to be seeing this broadcast, just leave a little note, a little message, just to make sure it's coming through. Looks to be on my end. And we're gonna have a little chat, a little catch up, as it has been, I know, quite a while since I've been active, at least on the public side of social media. So for those of you joining, my name is Gregory Skeet, human and business performance consultant. And first off, I just want to wish you all the very best for 2022, since it's my first video slash live stream for the year. I hope that 2021 was all that you want it to be and that you're off to a great start this year. Already we're at the end of week 6. That's like just over 10% of the year already. How quickly time goes, and for those of you who are balancing multiple responsibilities, if you're like me, leading a business or a nonprofit organization, if you add being a family person to that, parent, other responsibilities across your life, I know how much juggling it takes. And it may be taking a lot out of you, but I'm sure it's all worth it in the very end when you hold your purpose and your direction to the core. So it looks like we're live. It seems like everyone can see me for the message I'm seeing just right here, right now. And I'll get started. So, what have I been up to for the past few months? Arguably years. I think the last time that you saw me posting frequently, as in day after day, week after week, it was early 2020. Some of you may remember seeing me post about the birth of my daughter in January 2020. And I think the caption back then was, "This is going to be the best thing that happens all year." Literally not knowing that a pandemic was just around the corner. And who could have guessed how things would go since then? Thankfully, we are virtually at the moment, and technology has been a blessing through this phase. But I know the pandemic has been tough for everyone, whether you're a business leader or just any person at all, whatever your role may be, is taking its toll on work, on life, on family. And for those of you who, like me, may have had your first child during the pandemic, I'm sure the curve was even steeper in some ways. You know, some of the support that may have been more abundant in terms of grandparents and relatives being able to be close and helping out, and just life in general, whether it's daycare or preschool for those who have older children. A lot of those things shifted, and we had to be then making time for virtual family get-togethers. Actually, just in January, when my daughter turned age 2, we had a family Zoom party essentially, because unfortunately, COVID was on the rise here in Barbados once again. But a whole lot has happened. Besides that, thankfully, I've been able to continue working online, speaking at events, pretty much just like this: virtual studio, camera, microphone, delivering whether it's keynotes or specific training engagements, or sometimes just behind the computer, working through consulting problems, assessments, helping people to evaluate what their performance challenges are and engineer those solutions to them. Um, and helping leaders navigate crisis. If you are a CEO, anyone in the C suite, any small business owner leading your business through this pandemic, I know it's been tough. Like me, you may have added a few additional grays on one side or the other. But if you're still here, that's a blessing. And if you've been able to keep the lights on and the doors open, um, that is a win. On the other side of it, we've had people who have literally not survived the pandemic. And I'm not just speaking about, businesses closing. I'm also talking about people who lost their lives during this 2 year period. Unfortunately, the first person to pass away here in Barbados was someone who was at our wedding back in 2018. And back then we never knew, how far this would span and the challenges that would happen beyond that. But many of you may have lost people, and I think it's just important, regardless of where your business is at, where your career is at, to give thanks for the fact that you may still be here right now with the opportunity to make changes this year, to do things differently, to chart a new course, pick a new strategy if you have to. But as my folks always say, where there's life, there is hope. And that is something that I think anyone can hold on to. Besides that, through the pandemic, we've been also helping on the nonprofit work that we do. And that's also important for those of you who may not be as close to the nonprofit space. I myself, when I was deeper in my corporate role years ago, sometimes you're not quite aware of all of the challenges that people are facing. But since I have grown to be, it's clear that the pandemic has been especially tough on those who are less fortunate, less equipped, fewer resources. It's even tougher for some people. So, I think any way that you can help, whether it's through your organization or yourself personally, help a nonprofit organization and contribute to a cause, it still matters. It mattered at the start of 2020 and it matters today. So that's been, another thing that I've still been involved with on the back end. But folks, more or less, life has been a series of wake up, family time, take our daughter to wherever she's gonna be for the day, come back, grind, and repeat the process in the evening. And it's been great. I said that my new title is Chief Paternal Officer, or CPO, as I might say. Yes, I have started dad jokes already. It's a thing. And it's been a blessing. Like, I've been really enjoying the experience and the fun that having a little one around can bring. It's interesting how they can change your perspective on life. Sometimes just by seeing how they look at the world with such wonder. Whether it's being on the evening walk and seeing her look up at the moon the first time she noticed it and be like, whoa. Or just the process of learning a language and new words for the very first time. Like, these are things that are amazing. It sometimes helps you to see the world in a new way or in ways that you forgot to look at it. Maybe the better way to say it. And it's amazing how much knowledge is foundational. It stacks on the next. So when we think about the fact that all our knowledge and capabilities, for those of us who speak English, are based on the alphabet and the number system of 0 through 9, and we build everything on top of that over all these years, whatever your expertise may be, that's something special. And to see it happening for the first time up close day after day, has been something that I really, really enjoyed. So that's been good. But bringing it back to the topic of leadership, I think it can be sometimes said that the legacy of your leadership is captured in defining moments. So, key moments in your journey, whether you're navigating your company through the pandemic or just your family at home, there are key moments that can define it. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, whether now or sometime in the future, I'm sure there have been moments in the past couple of years that you will say have defined your leadership at home or in the workplace. And you know, I I like the concept of creativity. I pride myself on some element of creative thinking and problem solving. And sometimes the way to unlock our next best level is through these defining moments that test our leadership, that test our resolve, that test how creative we can be and evolving to the next best version or iteration of ourselves. And I can definitely tell you that for me, personally and professionally, the person you see speaking here today is a few levels up, a few upgrades higher than version GS 2020, if you want to put it that way. And I've learned so much about myself in the past couple of years, so much about leadership, productivity, in helping clients navigate the situation of the pandemic and the new world of work, what that means leading in the virtual and hybrid workspace. Because the principles of leadership are unchanged, they're old, they're timeless, they're nothing new. But the art and the technique of how you apply them day after day in your specific situation, those always change. Those always evolve. And it means that the style of leadership required can change from one situation to the next. And the person who was a rock star leader coming into the pandemic may not be best equipped to be the one to navigate through it. And then on the other flip side after. So, people often talk about Sir Winston Churchill, you know, an excellent wartime leader navigating those conflicts in that era. But after the war was over, it was found that, he may not have been the strongest in the House of Parliament and navigating the politics that followed the war. Doesn't mean he wasn't a great leader. It just means that sometimes your leadership has to evolve for the situation, or you need to bring other people to support you and help lead in certain instances that may be part of their real position of strength. So that is something to think about. And I'm just checking here to make sure as I do this initial test that you guys are seeing. Oh, greetings to you, James. Thanks for letting me know that you can see and you're tuning in. Very happy to have you joining me on this live stream. So yeah, there's a little thought that I wanted to share on leadership, and my goal is to share more things like this. Pick back up and improve on where I left off pre 2020, pre fatherhood, pre the different demands on my responsibilities as you build an organization, build a family, and share at least a bit more going into this year, and also bring in some of my colleagues and associates and friends that I think could add value to your goals, improve your performance personally and within your organization. And I also want you to pause on the fact that we're at the end of week 6 already. And part of my reason for just coming live today doing this test is because, we're at week 6. Like literally over 40 days have gone in 2022 already. And you realize that there's no time like the present to get started. And maybe some of you watching this call, my fellow consultants out there, whether you're in the Caribbean or many of my new colleagues in Canada, hello to you all. Maybe you've been thinking about doing at least one LinkedIn Live, one YouTube Live, whichever platform you prefer to get started. And perhaps week 7 could be a great time to start. Or perhaps it's today, this afternoon, just for 15 minutes. Give it a go, share a bit of insights because, sometimes we forget as we navigate this life journey how much we have to share that could benefit others. And sometimes all it takes is one small idea that could change the trajectory of your life, of your business for many years to come. I've been the beneficiary, especially in the past 3 to 6 months, of many of those small ideas that sometimes do nothing more than to refine your process or sharpen your mindset, your perception of how you look at things, and how things could be, and whatever has to work for this next phase, this next season of your life, and the journey of your organization for those of you who may be leading a company or a nonprofit organization. So, with that said, I wanted to keep this one relatively short, around the 15 to 20-minute mark, as you head into your Friday afternoons. For those of you on this side of the world, for my friends in Europe, you're probably already there. And greetings to you as well. And I wish you all a wonderful weekend as you move forward. And I really, really hope that 2022 brings all the things that you want it to be, and that you discover whatever is your best for this year. I believe that your best is something that inevitably varies because everything in our lives shift from day to day. But once you know that you've been doing your best each day, regardless of the hand that you've been dealt, that's a win. And it's something to treasure and something to be thankful for, that you get another day to do it again, give it another shot, add value to the world, and make a difference in the life, in the organization of someone else. So with that said, I am Gregory Skeet, your coach in the Caribbean, specialist in human and business performance. And I look forward to sharing more with you in the weeks and months to come as we navigate 2022. Wishing you nothing but success and all the very best.